There's really something special about being a real estate private money lender. For a lot of these new business owners, I really am their only hope for actually being able to buy their first investment property. Don't get me wrong, it's a lot of work working with new real estate investors. If I could, I would probably rather just have a long list of very experienced real estate investors who need a loan because working with them, pretty straightforward, pretty simple. They already know what they're doing. So they find a property, get it under contract, submit an online loan request on my website. I take a quick look at it. Yes, they're approved. We move forward to closing. It's really simple. It's amazing, but that only happens with really experienced real estate investors. On the other side, I have brand new people who maybe their realtor or their loan officer reach out to me and say, hey, got a brand new real estate investor. She's looking for a loan, hoping you can help. And here is just the start of the process. It usually starts with a phone call, and then they send me a property and they say, hey, just found this property, really want to buy it. What do you think? Do you think you could give me a loan for this? And then I do some due diligence. I let them know yes or no. And then they submit an offer. And then 24 hours later, I find out their offer does not get accepted. And then, unfortunately, this process repeats itself multiple times, sometimes for multiple months. And it's a slow process. And it takes a lot of my time, but I've come to appreciate it because it's a special process. I really am turning into, the more I learn about real estate investing, the more I learn about lending and underwriting, I really am turning into somewhat of a mentor for some of these new real estate investors because I will give them feedback. I will say, hey, I looked at the property, I can only lend this much and here's why. And then they take a look at it and they say, oh, I think you're right. Yeah, maybe this isn't a good deal. So as I'm learning more, as I'm getting more experience, as I'm getting more exposure to new real estate investors, I'm taking on more of that mentorship teacher role for a lot of these new investors trying to get a loan. So it takes a lot of my time and it doesn't always turn into a new borrower, doesn't always turn into a new loan, but I've come to appreciate the process. The more I learn about it, the more exposure I get to new real estate investors. I always think if I lend to somebody for the first time, if we have a good experience, that is a potential long-term borrower. That's a potential long-term customer. So I always try to go above and beyond, deliver high-quality customer service to all of my borrowers, all of my investors. You never know when one conversation today could turn into a lifelong customer in the future. So if you're watching this video, if you're thinking about potentially borrowing, getting into real estate, let me know. I'm a private money lender. Or if you want to invest into my real estate debt fund, let me know. I'd love to chat. Thanks for watching.